Okay. Hey, what's up? Welcome to 506. It has been a long fucking time since I've had a podcast. It's just been really busy and just a bunch of personal shit. But what was I gonna say? Today, returning guest Alex, he's a good friend of mine, and I'm sorry, I'm really distracted because okay, I'll just tell you the story right now because I was about to tell him before, but like I'll just do it live. No, I just got really fucking drunk last night, and we had the blizzard. Did you have a blizzard? Yeah, you had a blizzard, right?
Oh yeah,
How many inches of snow did you get?
we got like 6 inches of snow in New York.
Okay, we got like 13 to 16.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and then it just happened that like we have our 100 days of graduation party thing, which was like a pub crawl, and like so like apparently like you give like $5 to the
So
as a
you woke
class
up like
gift.
3 hours ago.
What?
You woke up like three
No,
hours
no,
ago.
no, no, no. I had class today. Okay, it was no, it's
Oh,
wild. I'll tell you, dude. It's just give me a sec. So, the the 100 days thing, right? It's like you go to like these 4 or 5 bars. One of them closed, like they just didn't open. But like it's a pub crawl, and I was under the impression that I would get one free drink ticket and then use it at the bar of my choice. I was wrong. You get a free drink ticket per bar. So, I pre-gamed the fuck out of it, and then I went to the bars, and then I ended up like getting 8 tickets, even though there's like 4 bars. So yeah, I live a life of excess. But I ended up sprinting back home somehow. Um, and then yeah, my friend helped me, but it was weird. So I kind of rolled my ankle, and my left ear's like really red, like it feels like someone punched it, or I probably slipped and fell. Um,
oh, dang.
yeah, it's wild. I'll tell you more details, but like post
Sounds like you're having a
podcast,
wild night. A fun
post
night.
podcast, I'll do yeah, like
A fun 100 days to
there's a lot of
graduation.
like personal shit, but it's like fucking hilarious. But yeah, so that's me. How's it going with you? I know you've been very busy. I know you have a meeting soon, so this is actually gonna be a relatively short podcast.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
meeting 20 minutes, but dude, I've been busy. 30 days until graduation. We just did the same thing, except we didn't have a pub crawl. We're not as cool as you guys, I guess.
well, I mean, it
We
was
definitely
also
didn't have a
like
pub
in the
crawl.
middle, like it was still snowing at night. Like that's
Oh
how
my god.
committed people were to like getting fucked up.
That
So
must have been so epic because like tons of like Boston kids just like running around,
I think it like
like
evened it
totally
out. Like I think way more people actually meant to go, but like because of the snow, like some people just didn't. But it ended up being like that nice happy medium where it was like it was filled, but it wasn't like packed. Like that's what I was worried about.
that's the difference between a college town and like a city like New York. Like no one gives a fuck if Columbia is graduating or who gives a shit if NYU is gonna graduate or Baruch. Oh, congratulations, you're graduating. Like fuck you, like dude. Welcome to the new world. Like no one. See, that's the thing that I missed out, I guess, because I went to NYU.
See, I
Because
don't know because like I feel like I also missed out if I went to NYU instead of BU. Because like I don't know, it's just there's a different caliber. There's a different like you know what I mean?
oh
Like New
yeah,
York is
different
way more
caliber.
intense.
Definitely a different caliber.
It's more intense and it just has like a faster heartbeat. You know what I mean?
Definitely, I 100% agree with you on that because when I visited different schools, there's just a different vibe. I don't know about caliber, but definitely a different vibe in the
Yeah.
conversations I have with kids on campus, whether it's in the dining hall, in their apartments, on college campuses. It's just it just feels different. I guess that's the same as vibe. There's a different vibe for sure though.
Yeah. Well, for sure. I mean, like I think I was considering BC, but like their demographic is like
After
99.999% like very, very Martha's
after May.
Vineyard rich white money.
Hmm.
So like I think I would actually be like fucking miserable if I went there.
You want to do that after May? I mean, DC.
What?
You want to
No,
live
no,
in?
no. I'm just saying no, but like while I was choosing undergrad.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right, right.
So I'm actually surprisingly happy with my choice because I didn't like know that much about BU. My impression of it was like it was just like too city for me. Like I really wanted to go to like a campus kind of style. Like my top pick was actually like Johns Hopkins, but like I'm so not smart enough for that. And they're mostly grads there. Like their undergrad is like really hard to get into. So all the people who are at JHU,
Of course.
props. But yeah, what's up with you? I know you're busy with clubs and stuff, but I've been very excited. I want to plug your new business venture. If
My
you want
new
to
business venture, yes. I'm
give the
opening up
deets.
a restaurant, as you already know.
Yes, that's so awesome.
I know it's gonna be on St. Mark's in the city. So for those listeners who hang around the city, and St. Mark's is literally, if someone says New York to me, I immediately say St. Mark's. I don't think of Times Square. I don't think of Central Park. I don't think of anywhere else. I just think of East Village, and in particular, one street, St. Mark's.
Because this is your street now.
Not my street yet. We're opening up. We're having a grand opening in 3 weeks.
Oh, that's so exciting. Wow, that's really fast. I thought it was just going to be like a post-graduation kind of thing.
I didn't tell you, but it was literally a shotgun idea between me and my brother. We hatched the idea when we were hiking somewhere in Vancouver,
Oh, that's the best.
and then it was all jokes. You know, that's how all these things start these days. It was just a joke. And then in September, when I got back on campus, I was hanging out in St. Mark's one day, and I walked by and I saw this place that was opened, and I was like, "Yo, Chris, who's my brother? There's a spot on St. Mark's that just recently opened up, or like is available for lease." And then he's like, "Yo, bro, let's do it, man." And that's how it all started. And
Just
since
saw it.
then, we've just been working like day and night, nonstop, sleeping 5-6 hours. Actually, no, I lied. Last night I had a good solid 7.5 hours of sleep. Friday I have no classes. Senior life. But yeah, the concept of the restaurant is Hong Kong style traditional Cantonese food called bo jai fan, which is translated directly to claypot rice.
Damn, dude, I'm sorry. I didn't eat all day, so I'm
So it
like,
sounds, have you ever had it? Bo jai fan.
I'm not like I'm not fluent, so I don't know,
Okay.
but maybe. Either way, if it's like if it's Cantonese food, it's gonna be good. Like
That is the goal. See how our generation, not many people know about this stuff. Like only I knew about. The only reason why I know about it is because when I moved, well, not me, when my dad moved here in 1976 from Hong Kong, we were living in Chinatown, and that's all we could afford to eat because it fed a lot of people. We had me and my brother and my mom and dad. No younger sister at the time, but if you're poor and you need a lot of food to feed a big family, um, definitely Bo Jai Fan is like a good bang for your buck. So that's the whole point of this new venture, if you want to say, or new restaurant. I don't like to say venture. This is not really like startup-y, but that's the whole goal of Claypot. It's to bridge, number one, cultural generations, and number two, bridge cultures and close the gap between different cultures who don't know about Claypot rice. Because essentially, to me, Claypot rice is the Asian version of brick oven pizza. Because you can easily cook rice. I'm sure you've cooked rice in a rice cooker before, right, Stefan?
Yeah.
And it's definitely not the same thing because a rice cooker is basically a vacuum and it sucks all of that flavor out. Whereas the clay pot rice, clay is a porous material. So I'll go into the two-sentence science version of how clay pot rice is cooked. Since it has pores, the rice can actually breathe and it's not sucking out all the flavor. So that when you do put something like soy sauce on it and ginger, garlic, scallions, cilantro, or eel, or pork belly,
Oh
or
god.
chicken, beef, yeah, right?
Oh,
And
just fuck me up,
corn,
dude.
I know, like
I
broccoli,
love that shit.
tofu, and it just absorbs it. And the reason why it absorbs it is because it can breathe. That's one reason. And the second reason is because we specially dry the rice and refrigerate it so that in essence the rice gets dried out, and that when it does get cooked in that clay pot, it's kind of like thirsty and ready to absorb all that flavor from the eel, the chicken, the beef, the corn, the asparagus, tofu.
Oh god.
It's great, yeah. And what's the best part is that and the people in the know-how will know about this. So people who grew up in Hong Kong, or really like our parents kind of age group, they know that at the bottom and at the sides of the dish has a special thing called fondue. Fondue is basically it's it's an Asian version of a hash brown because the rice kind of burns to the side, but it doesn't burn till like it's black. It's like golden brown, like exactly
Right.
how you
Nice and
describe
like
it,
crispy.
hash brown.
Yeah.
And it's crispy, and then you put soy sauce on it. You put like barbecue sauce, hoisin, that stuff that you put in the pho noodles for Vietnamese noodles,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they have all that spicy sriracha. You can put anything on it, and it's so good. Sometimes you put salt or just soy sauce to keep it simple, but it's good. But that's basically the whole concept. The last thing I want to say though is me and my brother really had a like it was kind of it sparked because we realized our hometown in Chinatown in New York City, it's starting to die out.
Yeah. It's shrinking.
It's shrinking. It's not okay, so
Well,
it's shrinking number one, but it's getting pushed outwards into areas like Little Italy. I mean, Little Italy has always been known to be part of Chinatown and integrated, but the
I feel
main
like Little
part is
Italy is getting smaller.
yeah, because Asian people are moving in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The reason is because there's really wealthy Jewish families and Russian families who are investing in properties all over Chinatown, all below Houston Street, and because of that, the property value is just increasing so much so that these Chinese tenants can no longer afford their rent, their monthly rent, and they're
Yeah.
getting pushed out. So we're seeing that, and we want to. So that's the last thing. We want to preserve the cultural traditions as well.
God. I mean, wow. Like that's. I think like that whole like mission statement that thing that you kind of have where it's like bridging the cultural and generational gaps between people, and especially with food, I feel like is like the best way to do it, right? Like who doesn't like food,
I feel like it's
right?
our mission, man. It's our mission. If we don't do it, and I mean, we can let other people do it, but I didn't see anyone doing this.
God, dude, I see. I love that you said it's like it's our mission. That like you know
It's
what I
our
mean? Like you
job.
took it. It's
It's
so
not even a mission.
personal to you.
It's a responsibility, man. Like we were born. Well, I wasn't born in Hong Kong, but I deeply feel rooted into my culture and traditions. I'm sure you do as well. Anyone,
Yeah,
any immigrant family can probably say that and speak to that as well.
yeah. I mean, for me, for sure. Like my, if it's not like the biggest regret in my life, it's definitely like top three. Is that like I didn't take like Chinese school seriously, so I can't really read or write.
I remember you told me about those Chinese
Dude,
schools.
it's like I wish I could go back in time and just like punch myself in the face because how am I supposed to order the food? Like, you know what I mean? Like I just memorize it now. I don't
One of
even read
these,
it.
and you point.
Oh, it yeah, and then like I mean,
All gonna
and
go
like
away, man.
the people
It's
are
all gonna
also like, I'm sorry.
imagine that once your parents go away,
Don't
my
I
parents
know
go away,
that's why it's freaking me out.
it's done. We're not gonna know like, oh, when do we celebrate Chinese New Year? I'm gonna have to look that shit up on Google fucking
Yeah, I'm gonna see it
.com.
on Google's main page. I'm like, oh, I guess it's Chinese New Year.
Yeah, like Google Calendar like reminder.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I see. The thing is, I remember. It's actually weird because I was like at a piano lesson and my piano teacher was like talking about like oh he's Russian and then he was talking about oh back when I was here and I don't know he was doing something explaining his culture and stuff like that. He's like you can understand that too, right? Like you can speak Chinese and I was like no, I don't know how to speak Chinese. And he goes, that's not right. That's
What?
ignorance.
Yeah, I'm probably surprised. Like what?
Yeah, no, but the thing is like, and he told me this when I was like 10. Okay. And at the time, like, I don't know why, like, that's one of the clearest memories I have is when he's just like sat there, like, he didn't like cuss me out, but it was like I could feel his disappointment. And it was like, why do you even care? Because like, you're here to teach me piano, right? But he's just like, no, that's ignorance. And like, that has always stuck with me. And that's why, like, I feel like that's also probably why this regret, like, hurts a bit more than like other stupid things that I've done. But it's just like,
that makes you
damn.
just feel ashamed, right? Like
yeah. I mean, because it really is. And it's like, okay, and I'm not gonna go too far off on a tangent, but like I had this one philosophy teacher my freshman year, and he was telling me how I was asking him like between the text between like English text and like German text, because a good majority of philosophical works are predominantly from like Germans. So I was asking him like, oh, is anything like lost in the translation, stuff like that. And then he ended up like going on this long explanation that actually the way he said it is like, if you can imagine like like a Venn diagram, right?
Yeah.
In terms of like what a language is comprised of, like how some languages have words that you wouldn't be able to like explain in English, or you know what I mean? So he's like, yeah, no, English is actually like the smaller circle and it's completely encapsulated inside German.
Oh,
Like that's how narrow English is, because it's such a new language that there are words that we have that German has, but there are words that German has that English doesn't have. And then like that got me thinking. I was like, oh, that's really interesting. And then he eventually told me about this study where they asked these people to complete a task, and they asked them in English, like it's like a graduated cylinder with like a ping pong ball inside, and they're like, hey, could you get it out? And then like without touching it or flipping it, and like nobody could figure it out, like none of them. Then later on they would retest these people, and they would ask them in like their another language, and in the other language there was this like this saying about like peeing or something like that. And because of the way the question was phrased and stuff like that, everyone knew how to do it. They just peed in the cylinder, and the ball came up. So it sounds like a really stupid like anecdotal thing, but it's like, if you can imagine how much of a perspective you might be missing purely because of the language that you grew up with. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So I feel like,
absolutely, dude. I just watched this movie, Arrival. Have you watched it yet?
no, I have not. I've never even heard of it.
Then, dude, it's been a hit. It's about linguistics, and I don't want to tell you too much because I don't like spoiling things. Spend 2 hours of your weekend watching this movie, Arrival. You'll like it a lot, I guarantee you.
Wait, 2 hours what do you mean?
It's a 2-hour movie.
Oh, okay, yeah. Also, no, just quick sidebar. Thank you for recommending Black Mirror, because that show is fantastic.
Oh, yeah, you'll like that.
I finished all of it, dude. I was just like, oh god, I don't want like I just want to throw my phone against the wall. I was like, no more. Let's just go hiking in Vancouver.
Dude, the recording with your contact is a real thing. It's happening right now.
I know. With Google, I think
no, everyone's doing it. Google probably hasn't publicly announced it, or they have, and I haven't heard of it, but Sony publicly announced. I know for a fact there's probably a ton of others. So
yeah. Oh, also, quick side thing. Since we're on the topic of like technology and like the pros and cons, I recently read a article that Google has dropped the ban on personally identifiable web tracking. So like every single one of your searches, they can now sell.
Really? And it's probably updated in their terms of service, and like no one's gonna read that.
Because nobody reads that. It's like 150 years of your life. Like somebody did the math. It's like if you actually agreed to all the iTunes stuff, you would be really old. But no, this happened in, I believe, December 28th of last year. Or yeah, ish. I don't know. All I know is like and I'm probably butchering this because I'm not techie at all, but my understanding of it was that it was legal for Google to keep track of what you search for their own purposes. And then now they can like make a profile off of what you search. So like if you search like I'm sure you've noticed this, like even on Facebook, you can see like the ads on the side are kind of starting to get more catered towards you. Like if I go on Facebook,
all the cookies that's tracking straight to.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I think it's worse because it's Google. Everybody uses Google, right? Like, I mean, people just flat out say, hey, Google this shit. So I don't know how I feel about that.
I feel very scared. And when I was opening up the restaurant, well, it's not open yet, in 3 weeks, which is really soon.
Yeah, I'm so excited, dude. I really want to check it out.
But that's, dude, you know what's really scary? So when I was I was like signing up for a bunch of stuff online, whatnot, and registering, doing all this registry stuff for New York State, and random people, random companies have found my personal cell phone number via Google, they said, because of my registrations and whatnot with the restaurant. And they're trying to sell me like everything from linens to SEO to like,
oh no,
like socks and boots for the restaurant. I was like, whoa, like what?
No, so this is, dude, no, this is my job, because you know how I'm working at the public relations internship. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what we do is we get this.
But you like that, right?
What?
You like that? You like that place?
Yeah, I like it a lot. I'm hoping that they finally give me like a formal letter, but they basically have offered me 2 different positions. One of them is like a writing job, which like the CEO lady wants me to come in for a bit, and then just to get to know the people. But then afterwards, I can work remotely. So that'll be pretty awesome, right? Like if I could just like do this writing stuff at night, then I can, you know, move back home and then get a job in the city, you know? So I don't know. I'm juggling around with like a lot of different ideas. I'm not really sure, but sorry. No, what happens is like these companies, right? And I'm assuming they're like B2B or B2C, but whatever, just like they're trying to sell you shit. So what they're doing is they get this master list of all these different companies and all these different numbers, and they have all these telemarketers, and that's where I am, like, unfortunately, which is actually like one of the worst jobs in America. Like I think is rated like the most unhappy because nobody wants to talk to you.
Nobody.
Yeah, I
Nobody.
mean, I've flat out had people like tell me like, "Hey, fuck off," or like kill yourself. But like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Dude, someone's dead.
yeah, but my
Dude,
best
people
guess
get
is
pissed off when you call them now. Like it's
yeah,
always messages, email.
yeah, a lot,
Email.
yeah, email, but that's because it's spam. You're gonna use a click, and you don't have to even read it.
Yeah.
You know, phone call you still have to be like polite about it or like try to be polite. But my best guess is like because you register for it, you're now on this list that they basically sell out to these companies that they so now like companies like the one I'm interning at, so they can have telemarketers call you your personal number.
I know his personal number. And I was like, how did you get this? And she says, oh, I have this list of all these newly registered businesses and restaurants in New York. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
that is
So you
fascinating.
should definitely switch. In my experience, what a lot of people do is that when they call in, they'll have the receptionist say, "Hey, if I don't know if like this is gonna happen because it's like restaurant, well, it might, I don't know, whatever. If you get to a point where you have somebody acting as a intermediate between you and all these people trying to get you to buy their shit, just have your receptionist tell them, "Hey, they're in a meeting right now," because that's what I get 9 times out of 10. And
Oh yeah, of
like,
course.
yeah, and it's like common practice. Like, unless they know my name, unless I've talked to them before, unless I know who they are, don't put them through to me because you're just gonna get flooded with it. It's like verbal pop-up spam.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm so excited. It's like I know it's like not my restaurant, but it's equally inspiring as it is intimidating to have a peer accomplish so much. Do
I've
you know
been
what I
getting
mean?
that a lot. I've been getting that a lot. That
It's I'm so happy for you though. It's awesome, dude. Also, after the podcast, I don't want to give out dates of where I'll actually be, but like during spring break, I don't know if ours match up, but I want to see if I can check out the restaurant because they'll be open by then.
oh yeah, it'll be open by then, but I'll be away for spring break.
No, but what I'm saying is like ours might not be on the
Yeah,
same week.
that's true. Of
So if that's the case, then we could definitely link up, but we'll figure that out. But yeah,
course.
wow, that's
Very
amazing.
special one.
Wow. Oh, okay. And I know you gotta go soon, yeah?
Yeah, I got like 5 more minutes before I got a jet. But
Okay.
what's new with you? We've been talking about what's new. I know we talked about the restaurant that's opening up in 3 weeks. I'm super stoked for that. And graduation for both of us.
Oh,
That's
yikes.
definitely the the headliner podcast for sure.
But
What about you?
um I mean, what have I been doing? I mean, I have a very light schedule this semester, so I've been filling it up with like a lot more work hours, just, you know, keep myself busy. Because
Yeah.
if I'm bored, I just get depressed. Like I don't think,
Saddening,
like
right? Board.
it's like if you think about it, right? Like the worst people, like murderers on like death row, right? And the worst punishment you can give somebody who's in prison is the isolation room, right? It's
Yeah.
just solitary confinement. So you have to like really think about like how hardwired it is in our brains to be social and to like interact with people. And like the worst thing that you can do to a person, less like one step down from killing them or torturing them, is putting them in a box by themselves and leaving them alone to their own thoughts. So that's my approach on
Long time.
trying not to be alone too long. I mean, you know, if you read and stuff or if you're doing work, that's fine, but I don't want to sit here with my own thoughts for a while. I just want to try to powerhouse through the 20s. I don't know if I discussed this with you, but like apparently there's like a few articles saying how typically on average a person's like their 20s is like the worst time of their life, like the most difficult. And it's because you
Really?
you disconnect with a lot of your friends, right? You just lose touch with them because you don't see them on a daily basis anymore. You typically just, I mean, it varies by age, but like your grandparents usually start to, you know, fall ill or, you know, pass away, and debt too. So these are all things like I expect and know will come.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, I know you're or I'm not sure if you're a big fan or if it's just me tagging you in all of his stuff, but Gary V.
Oh my goodness, dude.
Yes, dude. No, but what he was saying is that like if you want to be like a Renaissance man, if you want to have your shit together and be successful and know your purpose in life by the time you're 40, that you should be learning everything you possibly can in your 20s and working your ass off into your 30s. And then he says like I think he has this one bit about like our greatest asset is like the greatest asset that we have that no one else has for you and me right now is that we can fuck up for like the next 5 years and still be young.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. That's why we have to take risks right now.
Yeah.
While you have that comfort and that little like pillow of fuck up room. If you,
But I don't know. I mean, for me personally, I'm very split among like what I want to do with my life. And I don't know, because like it's, you know, obviously getting a college degree is,
time, though. It's definitely figuring out time
yeah,
for everybody.
yeah, it's wild. I mean, I don't know. I've been considering some career paths that don't require even like a high school diploma. So,
Dude, honestly though, all right, I guess we can end on some like Gary V inspiration.
yes.
You honestly, I don't know about you, but I personally did not need the NYU education that I got. I needed the networking, the
Yeah,
people I met,
the network and the diploma, the piece of paper is what you're paying
and
for.
the people. No, I don't even need that because
Right, you're opening up your own.
everything. No, not because of that. Because now that I'm working at that big corporation. I won't name it because
Yeah, you can't.
now that I did a whole Stern thing and I'm working at a big corporation, I've learned that I definitely did not need the Stern education to get me, because the people that I met at NYU was far more valuable than the time that I spent in the classroom. Hands
That's,
down,
yeah,
coming from
exactly.
this is coming from, I don't know how you, like, I don't think many people think about this, but like this is coming from a, I don't want to, this is not to brag, but like
No, brag. No, it is. It is what it is.
coming from,
Don't
it's coming from,
coddle it.
yeah, people, whoever's listening to this, when I went to Stern, I did the whole thing, and yeah, all I did was just meet as many people as I can. Did average in school, if not, yeah, I did average. I did very, very average.
No, you're in like the top echelon. We talked about this. Shut the
No, I
fuck
did
up.
very average on my scores. I'm not good at taking tests, but that's just my 2 cents of now that like the whole college thing is coming to an end.
Yep.
Everything is like all my ideas are coming to fruition and my ambitions are coming alive at this point, at this very moment, and I'm able to reflect back and like, wow, did I really need all of that education? Maybe now that I'm like a more self-aware, of course, but I definitely did not need the classroom talks. And
Yeah.
that's why this semester is going to be super hard for me because I'm just going into it like cruising, man. Cruise mode.
But no, that's a very good message to end on. And I completely agree. I would argue like 90% of the things that I've learned and grown from in the past 4 years happened outside the classroom.
Exactly.
It's all people you meet. It's like weird, awkward roommates. It's I don't know. I linked up with somebody on LinkedIn apparently on an Uber pool. So it's wild. It's like I find that the worst things in life typically, you know, they hurt, they suck, but like we often forget that like the best things in life are usually surprises that we would have never seen coming. Like if I told you that you would be doing this business, this restaurant 4 years ago, you'd probably be like, no, get the fuck out of here. Right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. We just have to stay positive, work hard, work fucking hard. Yeah. And
Work fucking hard, dude.
good things will come. Just trust that good things will come.
I don't trust. I trust in my hard work. That's all.
Okay, I see you.
No, that's a real thing too. I don't
Yeah.
think many people think about this, especially people our age. It's that we are always so tethered to our phones that we can see everyone's lives on Instagram, social media, Snapchat,
Fucking
whatever it is,
Facebook
Yelp.
Live. I hate that shit.
See all of it happening live, and you can see all like the doctors and like all the entrepreneurs, and you think it's so easy because it just you can just see it happening on your phone, and you think it's just gonna happen in an instant, but it doesn't happen in an instant. It takes fucking hard work. And
Yeah.
I think Gary Vee, I'm so glad that you showed me Gary Vee because he kind of like put to words what I couldn't and I didn't understand about myself.
I love his attitude too because he cusses. It just makes him more like personable and more real. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But
That's
I don't know.
cool.
There's yeah, he has a podcast with Joe Rogan. You should definitely check that out.
I saw it, dude. You sent it to me. I saw
Yeah.
it.
Oh, I haven't listened to the whole
Cool.
thing yet, but it's God. Like everything he says is so quotable and it's so it's so like viciously, hardworkingly positive. If those aren't even adjectives, but you know what the fuck I mean.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it. Let's wrap this fucker up. If you are in the New York area, definitely for sure check out. Wait, what's the official? Is it just Claypot or is it Claypot NYC?
It's Claypot, 58 St. Mark's Place.
Check
3
it out,
weeks.
you fucks. It sounds delicious. It sounds like Korean bibimbap. Do you know what I'm talking about?
It is very similar to that. Yes,
But I'm sure it has different flavors.
absolutely.
But yeah, check it out. Is there any like I don't know, like a Twitter people can follow or like
Yeah.
you?
@ Claypot NYC.
Okay. Is there an Instagram? Actually, you know what? Just text me all these links. I'll just put it in the description for the video.
Sounds good.
All right. Take it easy, dude.